why are we here? Where are we coming from?
Where are we coming from? Yeah. We have looking at the painting by Van Gogh.
Finally.
Yeah, finally Van Gogh. In Adler still, and it's one of the Starry Night paintings. The Starry Night over the Rhone.
Yeah, but I know the famous one.
Hmm?
Not the famous one.
No, not the most famous one.
Like always.
And I guess, when we discussed it, I remembered it from my childhood because I made a copy of it once as a school assignment that I was very proud of.
And it's how we choose the painting to discuss about it, because you said about it that you did it in the school.
Yeah, I assume.
How you begin to look at it and to thinking it.
How I began to look at it.
No, we began to do this because you did it in the school.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, what we can see here?
Well, we see a night scene with the river Rhone, and I think what is the most important is the color and the way he organized the light strokes or the light lines into the canvas.
And it's in the yellow and the blue.
Bringing emphasis into the points and the light from the city.
But normally these are not. He like to use complementary colors, no?
He used many combinations.
Yeah, he made a lot of combination, but normally with the blue he put orange, no? This is a complementary.
No, not really.
No? Okay.
I mean, these blues are different kind of tones. He used cobalt blue and aquamarine blue, so there are different tones there. And also the stars are a bit more pale than the lights from the city. And that's adding depth to the painting, to the scene. He was very attractive. We can imagine that back then it was the first time those gas lamps were seen. So he was fascinated by that.
It was painting in '98 in September. It was very good time for him. He was happy in that time. It was a little bit before that Gauguin come to him, and he was expecting him. They talk in the letters, and he come the next month. So it was a good period for him in his life. So normally it has to be a happy painting. It is or not?
I don't know. Why do you put these? Do you like these adjectives?
I don't know. It's like in a happy time for him.
Okay, I don't know
what I want to say.
I really don't know. Anyway, it's dreamy. It's a scene that you don't encounter easily. I mean, you have to have a state of mind to be able to do such a landscape. You haven't seen this kind of painting, this kind of scene in other painters before. It's very unusual.
And because you say that he is painting in the night, or why?
Yeah, it's
normally the people don't do these paintings in the night, no?
And it's painted in real. He went there next to the river, and he had a gas jet, and he painted with that light, which is very
difficult to see the tone of the
exactly. So he probably knew very well the colors that he was putting in without looking at
the intuition.
He
felt the color.
He knew this color, this pigment. It's a bit more.
Or maybe he
greener.
just tried and did it. No,
I don't know. I think he observed very well the colors on the sky, and then he, by knowing the colors, by knowing the pigments, he used them without really seeing exactly
It's difficult, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But he also, we know he understood very well the colors because they were described in a letter to Theo, to his brother. He explained how the star has these constellations have paler light, and the reflections on the river are more like bronze.
It's interesting to hear that the reflection, normally it's from the village, from the Arle, the houses in the water. But in the same time, you can think that it's the stars that make the reflections in the water, and could be. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's
For sure, it's the houses that make the reflections. But in the same time, maybe he can think in
those
this.
are houses or
Houses, yeah, I suppose.
I think they are the light of the city.
No, houses.
Okay.
Because I say it.
That's in the houses.
Anyway, we talked about lights, but we also see two people there. Probably two lovers or a couple.
A couple, yeah, I suppose. And one or two boats.
Yeah, I had a thought about the couple walking there. That I remember as a child, I was always wondering, trying to figure out what this part of the painting is, because it looks like sand or some sort of, but it also has the blue strokes, a lot of light blue strokes. And the light blue strokes always, I realized that I figured it was sand because there are people walking there. If it was water, then they wouldn't have been walking.
Yeah,
you would have seen like half the people.
Just if you're God.
Yeah, if you're Jesus. But I'm very curious about it. Why did you pick these strokes and also this direction, and why the blue strokes there? What is
It
that?
might be that it's actually not ground there. It's actually wood.
Wood.
Like a platform of wood.
Oh.
I'm not sure. But anyway, he used brush strokes to reinforce the perspective. So he probably put the strokes in one direction to give that movement towards the horizon. And to give another level from the water, which is much more horizontal.
Yeah.
The brush strokes are horizontal.
Yeah, he changed the direction of the lines here in the sand or what is it?
Yes. And then we have two little bumps at the end of the sand, and of the ground, let's say, that give us a difference with.
For me, it's interesting that I read now a little bit before that he said about the stars, saying to his brother Theo, that the stars he is looking the stars like you are looking the map of France, and you see the city of Paris, Toulouse, Bordeaux, and he's seeing the stars in the same way, yeah. Like you, after you're dead, you'll go there, and it's interesting to say that after the dead you go to the stars there, and the life, it's a way to go to the stars, and like these people here could be the reflection. They go to the stars, and say something else that the diseases that the people have is like a ship or transport a bus to go to the star more fast. Like if you have cancer, you take the bus to go to the star. If you just dead for the age that you have, that you are old, because you are old, it's just you are walking to the.
So he's presenting.
He's
both
very
ways.
funny. He's kind of thinking. No, for me it was nice.
Mm.
And this relation between the village and the stars, I think he was thinking this here. For me, it's very related.
Do you think there was some, like, to me it's also obvious that the reflection is from the buildings, the whatever the lights are. But there is a certain, it's almost like a comparison between the city and the stars. Okay, you can feel a sort of similarity to them. It's not just dots like you would see in a like in reality you would see the difference between the stars would be little dots, but here it's like it's almost
Well, in terms of contrast, yes, it's much more like this. But I think in terms of design of these light entities, it's very different message. I mean, for me, the sky is like a floating mass because there are points, they are expanding. And the bottom side, the half bottom side, it's more like a transition because it has this vertical direction together with the couple. They are also in vertical.
Yeah.
So for me, it's two worlds. It's describing two worlds. They are connected, but they are having a different message. And I would also like to mention how it looks like it's very fresh, it's very immediate, but I think it's very measured as well. I like it looks for me very rhythmical. The lights on the left are on the same distance. Then we have two small lights far away. Then three small lights separated with very careful distance. So he was like establishing like a musical composition.
Yeah, look like.
Yeah, and it also adds depth because that's what you see from the perspective, and the curve causes that the distance to vary like that. Yeah, I see what you mean with the. Now that you say the two different worlds, that I can really feel when I look at it, and what I think I really like with it is the perception of like this. You can see it in 3D, the water, but it's still like a flat surface. You can feel the flatness of the water, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then the sky that just is this empty space. I managed to convey that sort of.
But it's more static painting. That the next one that made the Starry Night that he painted after that. You see movement here. It's like static.
Well, I think space is described in more detail here.
The space.
Yes, like he put a lot of interest in describing with small strokes, and you have to look at these small strokes to understand the movement. But there is a lot of movement in here. It's maybe subtle, but if you understand it, you can get to it. And another thing is that I think there is a point where the Earth with these two little bumps are talking towards the sky, because these are the lightest points, let's say, except the stars and the light, the light itself. If we go behind that, we have two big spots, these bumps on the Earth, and the constellation, it's like a nebula in the sky. Behind the stars, it's like a nebula. I see that relation in there. So he establishes not only small figures, but also big tones, big patches of colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see the church here. I thought. No, I discovered. I think it's the church that you see in another painting. The like right.
Oh yeah, there is a church.
Oh, good eyes.
And the boat, the boat on the right, it's actually showing to.
And I like if
church.
if you look attentively the face of the people, they are smiling. They have.
Yeah.
He do it like a child, but he tried to do it smiling.
I mean, considering the big brushstrokes, I'm actually pretty amazed. He managed to. You can really see the face.
Yeah, and it's dark. You don't see very good. So I think.
And it's also.
And it's looking at him as well, aren't they?
What he's doing, this crazy man there.
And she has some red brushstrokes.
Oh yeah.
The only red in the painting.
Yeah, for me it was the first thing that I saw in the painting that attracted me. Well, normally you look the yellow, no? First, when you look a painting, but here is too much yellow, so I look in other for other things. So I looked at red. Maybe you want to check the camera, Rado?
Yeah. And what do you think about the stars? They look like flowers.
I saw other paintings that, this could look like flowers too, but I saw others more like flowers than this one. Like the other one with cafe in the night. That one looks more that like flowers. He make 3 paintings in the night. This time of his life in 1 month or something like this. For me, it's interesting in the comparison with the last painting that we did with Monet and with the bridge. Here we have water too, and we have 2 different sides of the water, but here is no bridge, nothing to pass to the other side. So for me, it's interesting this, and I think it's a little bit the feeling that have the Van Gogh in that moment, and this is my what gave me the feeling, the conclusion that I have looking this painting. He's still here in this island, in this part of the moon, with not so many people. Maybe this couple, only his friend, maybe his brother, his family, something. Represent a few people that he have at his side, close. And all the other people, all the village is not close to him. It's not a bridge to pass to them. He saw them not close to them, to him.
Well, I'm quite.
What?
I have my mind a bit different.
This is my idea when I.
Yeah, for me, like if you want to compare with Monet, Monet was presenting to us almost an interior scene, because the vegetation was closing.
I speak just about the bridge that you need to.
Yeah, but the bridge was just an element to add depth.
Okay, I did it just to make a translation from the last episode to this one, but the idea is that he saw the other all the other people, all the village not close of him, like he group of people, the people who understand him, it's few people that understand. The other one don't understand him, something like this.
Maybe that he's looking from a distance. That's a bit of the feeling that I need
more distance. I don't know.
Or in my case, it's not about, or it's not a lonely feeling per se.
Yeah, no, it's different.
It's more like he's looking at to me at least, he's looking at the city or the buildings from a distance, the village. And the little couple that's smiling to him, towards him, it feels like he's immersing himself in, he feels connected to the city. But looking from a distance, he's by himself, seeing it really, this wonderful view, trying to capture it, and the people the couple walking sees it and smiles like, wow, that is a person who is really loves this, is enjoying this moment.
I also think it has something to do with him wanting to be a monk, and we know monks are a bit more like solitary, and they are living apart from the city, but they do care about people.
Yeah,
they share emotion, they share love with the people, but they want to not be included because they would be sucked into the daily usual.
They're about to marry and
yeah, exactly.
live in a house.
He wants to keep him aside to see from perspective, to understand people from the global view, and I think that's what he's showing us here. He wants to see all the community in entire connection with the nature.
Yeah, okay, so not so different that you say that is different that about what I said. I think it's quite similar. A little bit different, but not much. And yeah, this kind of distance, the religion part, he always have it in his paintings and entire life. Because in the early years he tried to be monk. I don't know if you know. The parents want, and he tried to, but he was not accepted, I think, no?
Yeah, he wasn't accepted, but not by the parents, by...
Yeah, and he go to Belgium to try to be monk there in the, not monk, the priest of one village. But the church said that his ideas are not so how to say, they don't agree too much with his kind of relate with the people, because he tried to live like them, to give all what he had for them. He was not rich, but neither so poor. But he lived like them. They were in the mina, como dice?
In the coal mine. Coal mine.
And they are very poor, and he give all the clothes all for them, all every food that he have, give to them. And the church that sent him there to do this. So now this is not our kind of what we want to do.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't know that about Van Gogh. Personally, I'm just learning a lot about him, being here, and it strikes me as interesting because similar thoughts have struck me with becoming a monk as a Buddhist, a different kind of monk. But it feels like I saw that in the picture, this whole interconnection thing. Because it was when I did it for my school assignment, it was something I could pick. I could pick anything. My mother mentioned Van Gogh, and then I found this, and yes, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know why you choose one thing, but something inside, I suppose, give you the attraction, or
like
to take it. Yeah,
intuition.
Yeah, intuition.
I feel a connection with the painter.
And what is interesting for me these days, when we are walking around, I see more connection with nature than with the city itself. I mean, a city, of course, it's part of the nature, but the shapes, the movement.
Yeah, but in the city now it's 120 years after, so change a lot now.
140 almost.
120.
130.
30 years. Yeah. Okay, so change a lot. So cars appears and all the cities grow a lot. So you have to think in a small village in that time, and the people are more connected, more, I don't know, I think like this, like we live here in the forecast. You see a little bit more different that Arles. The people say bonjour and salute you. So in that time, I suppose the people invite him, come to paint us, come to drink with us, come to.
Yeah, he was painting mostly people and landscapes.
I think
Not
he was
city.
like a crazy man of the village, something like this. The people saw him, look, the crazy one. But I think in the same time he was funny and was friendly with them. I think he had this relation. They care about him. They know that he was not a famous painter or something like that. It was a guy who liked to paint. I don't know how to say that. But I feel like this. I don't know how to explain exactly. Like here, you see when you pass in the street, and sometimes you see the door open, something like this, in the houses or the windows, and the people you see
A humble
inside.
person.
For sure, 100 years before it was more. All the doors was open. I imagine the Van Gogh country. Hey, hello, how are you?
Let me make it.
Do you have something to eat? I suppose it's like this.
I think we should finish for now. Sebastian, do you want to say
Have
something?
any conclusion? You begin and you make a circle and you can finish.
I'm pretty happy what's been said. I definitely agree with the whole closeness to, again, especially from someone from the north, visit Sweden. Especially if you're warm and say hi to people. It's something I notice as well so much when someone says hi to you here, and I would have loved to see it back in Van Gogh's time, especially if it was like that. You really, when people really notice you, like, wow, there's a stranger here.
Yeah,
it's not just just another person.
He was weird. He was going with his painting, with his.
Yeah, and for a village like that, small village, you don't see so many painters,
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Okay, so conclusion: say hi to people.
Yeah.